Well, hi. Alright, let's try out Hook Theory's musical sketchpad, HookPad. And using our 4-chord MIDI controller built on Adafruit's MacroPad, we're going to mess around a bit to build a short demo using the creep progression. It's one you'll recognize when you hear it. The creep progression is 1 major third, major 3, 4, minor 4 progression that was used even back in 1937 by the Ink Spots and has been used by Elvis, David Bowie, Radiohead, and of course, Steven Universe ever since. Now you'll notice that the HookPad lists this as a 5th/minor 6th because the third degree doesn't fit a standard progression. You would expect it to be a minor instead of a major, but that's not how the creep progression goes. And this is where using the 4-chord MIDI's auto chord feature comes in handy. The auto chord mode allows you to select the major or minor or 7th or diminished or augmented version or minor 7th or major 7th of any chord in a progression. Instead of just, if you're in the triad mode, you would only have that minor third available for the third degree chord, because that's how the standard progression fits. So we're going to, on the 4th measure of this first round, we're going to mix a little bit up by bouncing to what's really the 4th and 3rd and then major 4th. But for the rest of the song, we're going to keep it as the 1, 3, 4, minor 4 throughout the entire thing. And this is how HookPad works, is that it tries to make it very easy to build progressions. It will automatically do your drum backing beats for you. And there we go with our, now we're going to enter into our normal progression. Yeah, and so HookPad did what it does well, which is build a harmony for us to build a melody on top of and visualize this in terms of degrees rather than seeing this in terms of notes. I'm going to pick a voice for the melody here. And now let's switch. We're going to make sure that we're in the same key as well. I'm going to pick the key of G. And we're going to go back to the Take Me On progression because that is the one that has the 1, 3, and 4 in it. We could also have customized the settings file, but I'm lazy. So instead, what we're going to do is switch back to the triad mode. I'm going to add a rest at the very beginning. Let's round that up so it's just on the first 4 measures. And then I'm going to use the triad mode to start to build that melody. I don't mean to select every type. Let's just select, okay. Half notes. That'll work. And notice that this corresponds to the degree of 1, 3. And let's not do that. Let's skip up. So it's visualizing things by degrees, which fits the triad mode well, because each row is going to go to the 1st, 3rd, and 5th, and minor 3rd or major 3rd, depending on the degree of the chord. And then each column fits a part in the progression. So I'm just going to kind of march down a progression a bit. Let's give it a very generic melody, a rest. We're really just trying out random things on triad mode. And it's all constrained to what we would expect, not only in the scale, but within the harmony itself. Although we can tweak it with incidentals and we can add some passing notes. Yeah, good enough. Just Copy and paste this over. I'm just going to bump that up a few degrees. And this is where HookPad really seems to excel, is that it helps you see when you're doing these small tweaks how you're altering things just a few degrees at a time. At the very top, you can see it's automatically highlighting what's in my scale. And that way I can build a melody that's pretty congruent with the harmony. And let's make something up for the next two measures. Add a rest in here. Now, all of the changes to, if I'm doing half notes or quarter notes or full notes, those map to hotkeys as well, but I am being lazy and instead just dragging things around and picking some safe defaults along the way. Yeah, sure, let's see. Yeah, fine. And copy this over. This is, of course, the very super generic way of doing a melody where you keep repeating the same phrases over and over again with some minor changes along the way. Alright, that's fine. Now, let's see if we can repeat this. I have a refrain here. Do something a little different for the next two measures. And the nice thing about Triad is that we can experiment. It's going to largely fall within where we want in the harmony. Here I'm going to see what I can do, I don't know, in the sixth or sixth degree of the chord, but of course the first fifths often overlap. Let's try the 4. I think we're officially into the just roll your forehead across the keys and see what works out phase. Yeah, let's repeat this over. All right, we've got the good beginning. Let's move these up. Okay. And of course, we're going to repeat the phrase again. I'm going to repeat the phrase we had from the first few measures also. Why not? And then we're going to make a few small I'm going to bring everything up. Then we're going to actually do something a little bit different where I'm going to use the auto chord mode to do like an arpeggiated chord. And while this is still an auto chord, you can see I've got my bass line in here as well that I want to I'll manually get rid of. Since HookPad will only take one note at a time, we can use that to build an arpeggiated thing without actually having to delay the notes that are being sent over. So here you'll see all of the individual notes. They're actually sent at the same time from the macro pad, but we're going to take them, that works much better. We're going to take them individually. We're going to get rid of the bass chords, and in HookPad, those will come over as essentially an arpeggio. And by trimming the first and fifth bass notes, I'm going to find an arpeggio that should match the harmony. All right, good enough. So let's add our final ending note, which is just going to be one long, stupid note that outlasts the final chord played on the harmony. And let's just get rid of these extra measures. There we go. Okay, what's the whole thing? Okay. Hey, well, that was something. Try this out yourself. You can download 4-chord MIDI on GitHub. Experiment with any DAW of your choice and try your own.